New home sales are down, but there's still a strong demand. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, and I'd like to have a look at an article from Mortgage Business discussing the demand for detached housing. Now the government has thrown the kitchen sink and everything it can to stimulate the housing sector, and the demand for detached housing is still quite strong. Now it's not as... well, it was worse than expectations. This is from Trading Economics. We can see here the October figures. The actual data was down 1.3%. The TE, Trading Economics, forecast was 2.5% growth. So you can see here we're heading down. Let's jump out to the 25-year line. So look at that. Look at that. Do you see that, everyone? That's not natural, is it? Not at all. That's a huge, huge climb. Well, we know what that is. That's government intervention in the market. So it's still strong, you know, back to these levels here from years ago. But it has been worse than market expectations. And that's an important thing. In reality, when we're looking at this data from different sectors of the economy and the stocks, it's got a lot to do with what the expectations are and if we do better or worse. So let's have a look at this article from Mortgage Business because, well, instinctively, you would think there'd be a greater demand for detached housing with all of the negative press associated with multi-res coming out over the last few months and how people have been forced to, well, reside in their homes for extended periods. So it is better having a yard, at least you can get out to. If I really want to, I can just go and lie down on my grass. My dirt is turning into grass. I'm working really hard at it, guys. You know, and look at the trees. The problem with having the trees is you've got to clean them all up, but still, that is a benefit to having a home. It's one thing that I considered very important when we were starting a family, having a yard, so you can at least get out there and make a mess. I didn't realize how much mess children make, but, you know, you just roll with it. So let's have a look at this. While the strong shift in demand for detached housing has persisted, the cancellation rate of new home projects has increased slightly. New figures have shown. Okay, so more people are starting to cancel. The new home sales report from the Housing Industry Association revealed that new home sales fell marginally by 1.3% in the month of October. However, sales have remained 31.6% higher for the 3 months to October compared with the same time last year. I mean, look at that. A 30% increase in new home sales compared to last year. There you go, everyone. That's HomeBuilder right there. That's it. What's going to happen next year when HomeBuilder runs out? Well, no, not even next year. Well, December 31, you have to have your contract signed. And then you have to start work within the first 3 months. So the first quarter of next year is going to be flat out, which doesn't really bode well for us because that's kind of when I wanted to get the raise done on our house here. And with the work we have to do, you know, we have to lift up our house, get the structure put underneath, flooring put in place, and then a staircase built before we can get back in. So we need to find somewhere to rent, which hopefully it looks like we got one in our own street that's going cheap. So we may just go into that. So I don't need to bother moving too much. But still, it's going to be a busy time to start doing this work first quarter next year. There's the challenge. May have to wait until second quarter because once this work starts to wean off, what do you think is going to happen to the construction industry? How many people are flat out? Our engineer who we're talking to on this project, they do a lot of residential work. We don't really do much residential work. We really only do it when people ask us that we work with on other projects or for big builders. We tend to work more on larger projects. Like we did one big school last year, a 500 student extension to a school, you know, so and all big mine projects, those type of things. Because to be honest, they are easier to deal with. It's more a corporate relationship and the fees are a little bit better than the residential stuff. The simple residential stuff, you're really competing with a lot of building designers and other architects and builders who'll do it all themselves or who will offshore it and specialize in it so they can just churn it out. For a spec home, you know, you really don't need an architect. You can massage the design yourself and negotiate with it. You probably need an architect or a project manager to sit between you and the builder to make sure the contract's fair, but that's another thing. So these people that are working in that sector, they're flat out. Our engineer's going, yeah, because I've changed the floor. on our house. We were originally going to go with a slab on ground, pretty much suspended, because we've got a tiny corner of our site that's got a little bit of flooding, which is never going to happen, but still it sets the height that we have to build at. And we've changed to a hebel. So we're just going to weld some steel members to the post that we're putting the house on and just get a hebel flooring on there, kind of the best of both worlds. Yeah. And they've made those changes for us, but they're going, Florian, we won't get it to you till, early December because we're flat out. We're busy. So that's another thing. There's a whole lot of consultants that are flat out as well because of this uptick that we're seeing here. And that's going to flow through. What's going to happen to them next year? That's kind of why you need to diversify. If you're a consultant, you want to have a diverse range of project sources. So we do a bit of retail, we do a bit of health, we do education, we do mining. We've got a lot of experience in modular stuff, so that tends to open up a few doors for us. We've got other people that, there's one architecture office I drive past, and they just focused on multi-res. Not the best thing to be purely focused on. But the problem is you build up an experience in that, you get a portfolio in that, and more work comes to you for that. And then when you try and branch out into other sectors, it can be quite difficult. So that's the challenge, everyone. And I suspect a lot of consultants face that. So, while people and builders and contractors and tradies are flat out right now, because we're running at 31% above last year, I don't know if that's going to last past the middle of next year. Let me know if you're in the game, guys, if you're working in the residential and you're seeing it. Are you flat out at the moment? Across the country, new home sales in the 3 months to October were higher in all regions when compared with the same period in 2019. Sales rose by 132.2% in WA. Wow. 38.1% in South Australia, 26% in Queensland, 14% in New South Wales, and 2.2% in Victoria. Commenting on the monthly survey of home builders in the 5 largest states, which is an indicator of future detached home construction, HIA chief economist Tim Reardon said the federal government's home builder scheme acted as a catalyst for the elevated level of consumer confidence in the housing market, but added that other factors had also contributed as well. Lower interest rates. Okay. Fiscal stimulus, such as JobKeeper. See, should JobKeeper be... JobKeeper's just propping up businesses that it may be on the verge of going under. Have also seen households more willing to spend on housing. What about trading while insolvent, businesses that should be tipping over? Are we going to start to see examples of that? I really hope people don't encounter this in construction. I'm not signing a contract before December 31. You want to make sure these businesses aren't trading insolvent. If you do, if you're going to do it, guys, get an accountant. You want to see you want a letter from the accountant or the builder that you're signing up. You want to see their books. You want to make sure they're profitable, and you want the accountant to sign off on that. So if they go under, you may be able to throw some money at a lawyer to threaten them. I don't know if anything will come of it, but still, it may make you feel a bit better. And, we need to help lawyers earn money, everyone. Households have redirected their expenditure from travel and entertainment towards housing, including renovating their homes. Expenditure on small-scale renovation projects is now around 25% higher than this time last year. We noticed that, actually. We were down in Currumbin visiting family. And just in the area they were living, everyone was doing reno work. Everyone was doing reno work. It was nuts. Again, what happens when it tapers off? This is the problem. They've overheated it. So you're going to get all this work now. People are going to be crazy, busy. And then, boom. New home sales have ramped up in Victoria with a 10% rise in sales in October, while sales in the past year in Victoria is 8% lower than the previous years, Mr. Reardon said. Sales in all other regions fell in the month of October. This reflects the ending of the stimulus effect of Home Builder, which was designed as a short-lived mechanism to improve confidence in the housing market. Furthermore, Mr. Reardon noted an unexpected reversal in urbanisation trends of the past century, which has led to increased demand for detached housing, with a sudden shift in the population moving away from Sydney and Melbourne and into other regions. The sea changes and tree changes have taken 2020 as an opportunity to pursue their dreams. Students and workers haven't been drawn to the opportunities of the city like they have in the past, and there have been few new migrants from overseas. As a result, metro city populations have declined unexpectedly in 2020. Mr. Reardon predicted that the reversal in urbanisation trends would revert once the economies of Sydney and Melbourne recover from the crisis. Despite this strong swing in demand for detached housing, the report found that the cancellation rate of new home projects has elevated slightly. While the cancellation rate of new home projects is usually below 10%, this increased to 16.1% in October. That's pretty high. But I wouldn't say it's surprising considering how overheated the market is. Maybe some people jumped at something and then had maybe they lost a job. Maybe they lost a job in the process. And then they've had to pull the pin. This suggests there are a small number of households that are bearing a disproportionate burden of this economic shock, Mr. Reardon said. Commenting on the new home sales figures from HIA, Federal Assistant Treasurer Michael Sukker said the figures demonstrate that HomeBuilder is helping to drive tradie-led recovery by boosting the economy. Well, that's Australia. This is what we do, guys. The statistics show HomeBuilder is achieving exactly what it was designed to do. It is igniting the construction industry and helping to protect jobs right across the sector. HomeBuilder is delivering for Australia's tradies, and HomeBuilder, which is driving stimulus in the economy at its time most needed. So there we have it, everyone. What do you think? What do you think? 30% above. Still, didn't quite meet expectations, but look at that. And we'll have to see how it peters off next year. Will there be HomeBuilder Mark II? This is the thing. We're all worried about a fiscal cliff, this appearing, this, and they just pull someone else out of the bag. The issue is now that will these start to become election issues? At the next election, we need HomeBuilder Mark VII. You know, the economy can't stand on its own 2 feet. We need to save those tradies. We need to save those people. We need to save this. Problem is, if you don't, well, if you prop up an economy too much, it gets weak. You need to have adversity to build strength. Let me know what you think, everyone. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy the mugs from Teespring or the pocket squares you see behind me. I'm always pointing the wrong way. I'm going to put a pocket square at each side. You know, forget it. I'm going to do it. That Rachel makes with the HeiseSays Stein. Actually, this Stein, my favorite one. I should drink out of it more. You can support us using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I will see you in the next episode.